Good morning. I'm Anne, a Unity in Lynnwood prayer chaplain. I welcome you, whether you are virtual or in our sanctuary. So glad you're here. Let's close our eyes if that's comfortable. And take a little bit of time to breathe some nice, steady breaths in your own rhythm and pace. We invite a sense of peace and calm to be our companions. In and out we breathe. We gently let go of our busy thoughts and open ourselves up to our heart space where Holy Presence embraces us always. As we head into the silence, please take this affirmation if it speaks to you. Divine love is with me moment to moment as my strength, power, wisdom, and refuge. I am one with the Eternal One. As we begin to come out of the silence, let's stretch into this now moment, gently opening our eyes. We call on gratitude to rise up in us. We are thankful peace is strong in our center, and the power of love is fully present within us. We have an open heart for all those who have been here before, who are with us now, and who will find their way through the doors of unity in Lynnwood in our future. Thank you.
Spent my whole life searching for a shelter for my soul, an understanding of the greater plan. In these walls I've seen the light of love pure and divine, helps me remember who I really am. In every face it's clear, we're all God's children here, and it feels like home, feels like home. I finally found a place where I belong. Feels like home, feels like home. A family that I can call my own. Feels like home. It's a place to share your burden. It's safe to shed a tear. Say a prayer and raise your voice in song, where every heart is honored and every path is true, and no one's here to judge you right or wrong. And there's no shame, no sin in this place where love begins, and it feels like home, feels like home. Finally found a place where I belong. Feels like home, feels like home. A family where I can call my own. Feels like home.
Good morning. We are so blessed to be here this morning, surrounded by people who love and care about us. If you'd like to close your eyes, please do. Relax into your seat. Let all your worries just fade away. We know there is one source. I know this source offers an endless supply of continuous flow of good. This source of good is at the very core of all there is: love, creativity, abundance, joy, and happiness. In knowing my connection to the all good, this oneness, I step forward in manifesting and celebrating a vibrant life. I am fully open to accept, embrace, and claim the good in the universe, just as Spirit gives it freely and lovingly. I mirror the divine as I share love in the world. I am grateful for this beautiful day and cast a smile upon it. And so it is.
It feels like home. It feels like home. I finally found a place where I belong. It feels like home. It feels like home. A family that I can call my own. Feels like home. Feels like home. I finally found a place where I belong. Feels like home. Feels like home. A family that I can call my own. Feels like home. Thank you. Now's the time where we rise and greet each other, so I invite you to do that. And if you don't feel like it, that's okay. You can stay seated. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. All right. I'm going to do a chant now while y'all get settled back in, and feel free to join in if you know the words. I am one with the heart of the mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God.
Band. Good morning. I am Frances Johnson, your welcome host, and I am happy to be here with you on this, well, I have it written down, so I'm going to say it. Beautiful, sunny Sunday morning. Aren't we blessed? Yes, yes, yes. So I'm going to read the rest of it. So I'm soaking up every moment of this hot weather. Makes me want to put on my bathing suit and run through the sprinklers while eating a popsicle. It brings joy to me thinking about it. Now I'm going to wish about it. Where is the weather? So speaking of joy, I want to welcome you if you are new or newer, and to anyone in the sanctuary who have been coming for a long time. Thank you. Hello to our online family, tuning in from as far away as Nairobi, Kenya, to Edmonds in our backyard. We're glad you're here. At Unity in Lynnwood, you may come from a faith tradition. You may be Buddhist, Catholic, Muslim, Baha'i, Jewish, Lutheran, or Methodist, or have no faith tradition at all. Unity in Lynnwood is a special church filled with warm, loving, and kind people. We welcome everyone to our community, no matter your religious beliefs, gender, orientation, age, or race. We are a caring and friendly church. It's wonderful to be here. So let's meet in the Friendship Hall after service today to talk with someone new, catch up with your buddies. I have to tell you that I have met so many cool people in the Friendship Hall. Barbershop quartet singer, ex-mayors, crafters, artists, singers, professors, gardeners, incredible home cooks, and the list goes on and on. Life is like a box of chocolate. You never know who you're going to meet. Happy Sunday, and welcome to Unity in Lynnwood.
Choice each new day brings, and with every step you take, bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Places you will go and the people you will know. Don't worry when, where, or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what each day brings. You will do amazing. close your eyes, take a breath and smile. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. You will do amazing things.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Amanda, Scotty, Jonesy. They really put us in the mood to receive all this goodness, don't they? Awesome, awesome. Good morning, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Nachman, and I guess I'm sort of like your service glue this morning. I don't know, something like that. I don't know about all y'all, but I've been feeling a really extraordinary sense of community around here lately, and I think we've really stepped up our game. I really do. We have taken ownership of our spiritual home, and we have really moved in. And I extend my kudos to all of you for being a part of that. Thank you. I feel blessed, and I hope you do too, about our evolving and blossoming community. You all are amazing, as Amanda just said. We would like to extend a very hearty virtual welcome to anyone joining us online today. Please put your name and location in the chat so Callie, our welcome host, can let you know that you are here. I'm here too, I think. I don't know. I'm stuck in the sprinkler with Francis. Thank you. Wow, okay, we do have Pascaline in Nairobi, Kenya, and Ursula and Colleen and Michael and Jerry, miss you, Jerry, Tom, Gloria, hello, Lori in Lynnwood. Wow, it's really terrific to have you all here. And we would like to say a special welcome to you. So if everyone in this physical sanctuary would turn to Walayn over here by this camera and repeat after me, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. We honor and support you. We honor and support you. You are most definitely a part of us. You are most definitely a part of us. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So here we are. Mission statement. Practical spirituality, welcoming community. I don't know if anybody saw Practical Spirituality in action this morning driving down Alderwood Mall Parkway, but I saw at least two, Nancy and Michelle, picking up trash by the road before service. If that isn't practical spirituality, I don't know what is. That's so, so awesome. In support of our mission statement, we have 7 value statements, and today's is number 4, and it reads as follows. We believe each person is an individualized expression of divinity itself. Oh, I'm going to stop right there. Where else are you going to hear that? That you, in fact, are an individualized expression of God. Believe it. Take that in. And we accept each person as such, without condition, question, or exception. And, as a matter of principle, we love boldly. And if you don't feel that here today, you come to me and let me know, because I want to know about it. Our invocation, feel free to experience this however it works for you. Read it with me, just take it in, whisper it however it moves you. Though imaged and named variously, there is a singular and eternal ground of being from which all life emanates and into which all life retreats. We choose to call this ground of being God. By extension, we come to understand that we are spiritual in nature, human in expression, and limitless in potential. We gather today to remember such truths, to celebrate our unity, and to honor all life. I don't know, never gets old. I'm sorry. So each year, for the last 6 years, under the incredible leadership of Daniel Kalfas and his team, Unity in Lynnwood has done something pretty amazing. We discover a homeowner whose home is in need of some TLC, and then we make magic happen. What an extraordinary gift you all give, not just to the homeowner and her community, but also to the flow of love and giving in the world. How many people see you doing this act year after year and think, wow, that's so generous. Maybe I should do something nice for someone today. Love begets love, my friends, and you have shown this love to Sue Badinger, her neighbors, our community, and the world. Would all of you who showed up for hands-on housing yesterday, please, if you're still able, stand and be recognized? Wow. I know I had to roll Tim up the stairs last night. It was not pretty. Anyway, our guest speaker today, Michael Bogar, has graduate degrees in Bible, theology, and Jungian psychology and mythology. He has taught classical texts from many religious traditions and is a very effective teacher of psychological and spiritual ideas and practices. He is currently a part-time adjunct professor of world religions at Central Texas College, located on a campus at the Joint Base Lewis McChord Base in Tacoma. He teaches regularly at Seattle Unity Church and the Seattle Center for Spiritual Living. He holds a weekly online Zoom class covering a wide variety of often neglected and controversial topics regarding psycho-spiritual development. We love a little controversy here, so that's great. He is taught at the graduate and undergraduate levels and has a proven ability to inform and inspire students ranging from the informal beginner to the serious scholar. Students and audience members frequently comment on his depth of scholarship, personal down-to-earth approach, and sense of humor. We don't have that here or anything. In addition to formal education, Michael has worked construction and still remodels houses part-time, so I guess you could hit him up also after service if you need some work done. Thus, his approach to spirituality and teaching is from a full life experience, and he can relate to a wide range of people. He has a way of communicating to those at the top of their game and those ready to quit. Life is educational in this terrific and traumatic world. Each morning presents an opportunity to participate in the School of Soul Making. Please join me in welcoming Reverend Michael Bogar.
Thank you for that nice introduction. Some of it's actually true. Okay, here we are again. I was here, 3 weeks ago? Something like that, and we opened the Pandora's box of soul making. And I want to revisit that. I want to go into it a little bit more deeply and explore what that idea is. To do that, I want to begin with a kind of review of what we went through last time very quickly. So if you can put the slides up here. Last week, when I was here last, I introduced the idea of soul making. How many of you have heard that phrase before I brought it up? Just out of curiosity. You have? I see 3 or 4. Okay. John Keats, the poet who died in, I think, 1825, wrote a letter in 1819 to his brother. This is a poet who was budding, young poet, had tuberculosis. He had nursed his brother through hospice, essentially, who died under his care with tuberculosis, and his mother. So he was surrounded by a world of trauma and terror. And in 1819, he wrote a letter to his brother. And Keats, at this point, was a young man just beginning to be recognized as a poet, and fame starting to come his direction. But he knew he only had a couple of years left to live. So at the age of 24, I think it was, when he wrote this, he wrote to his brother and said, "Call this world," well, let me read it here. He said, "Call the world, if you please, the valley of soul making. Then you will find out the use of the world. I say soul making. In other places, he called it spirit creation. So the term is not important. What's important is the idea that there's something being made in this world. Then you will find out the use of the world. I say soul making, soul as distinguished from an intelligence. There may be intelligences or sparks of the divinity in millions, but they are not souls till they acquire identities, till each one is personally itself. Do you not see," he asked his brother, "how necessary a world of pains and troubles?" Now, we don't like that term in New Thought movement, typically. We don't affirm pains and troubles, right? But they do exist, correct? So what he's saying here, he's not affirming it, he's just acknowledging in the midst of death, he's on his deathbed. So he's not in some pie-in-the-sky university writing academic papers here. He says, "Do you not see how necessary a world of pains and troubles is to school an intelligence and make it a soul? A place that is this world where the heart must feel and even suffer in 1,000 diverse ways. As various as the lives of people are, and our lives are various, this room has a lot of diversity in the life that you have brought to this room over the years that you've been on this planet. So various become their souls, and thus does God make individual beings into souls." Now, what Keats is suggesting here, and I'm going to tell you right up front, this is a suggestion. If you come to me and say, "I don't believe this, I don't think this is a theory that works," you know what I'm going to say? Okay. Some days I don't either. In fact, on the way in today, driving here, after hearing some stuff on the news about situations going on in the world where people are suffering in ways I can't even frickin' imagine, I found myself listening to this and going, this world is bad. Did you ever have that thought? I'm not saying it's true, but did you ever have that thought? There's something wrong. Now, what I found when I moved over to the New Thought movement back in about 1990, I left the evangelical world, not because I hated it, but because it wasn't big enough. It just wasn't big enough for me to be able to speak and ask the questions I had. I came over to the New Thought movement, and I thought I had found heaven, because here were all these people singing, having fun, enjoying themselves, and as time went on and I got to know them, I found out that they were just as human as the evangelicals. That they had their prejudices and they had their stuff. What I found is that they didn't typically talk about it publicly like the evangelicals. They just blurted it out. But what I found is when I got together with them at the wine parties or the get-togethers or whatever, the prejudices came out when they found that they were in a group of people that would listen to them. So the bumper sticker said, "Love the world, have peace." But sometimes in private, they were saying, "Those stupid asses. How can they believe what they believe?" Do you understand what I'm saying here? This is not a criticism. This is just a recognition. And when I found that out, I thought, wow, people are people no matter where you go. Now, my spirituality has to encompass that somehow. It has to draw a circle big enough to bring in not only the love and the peace and the beauty and all of that we talk about rightly in our Centers for Spiritual Living and in our unity churches and groups like that, but we also have to make room for what we all in this room know is true of each of us. That we have those moments when we are not so nice. Amen? Amen. Come on, a little louder. Okay. So this is why I like the idea of soul making, because it takes the idea of wholeness. Typically when we think of wholeness, we think of health and wealth and prosperity and everything's going right. But a soul-making perspective says, yes, that is part of wholeness, but wholeness also draws that circle around falling apart, disintegrating, and having all kinds of problems going on in my life. So a soul-making perspective says all of this stuff works together to create what? A unique individual soul. C.S. Lewis, the great author and apologist, said in his book, not very well known actually, Till We Have Faces, that the purpose of this life is to become a godling. Now, there were some evangelicals who didn't like that terminology, but they loved Lewis, so they ignored it. But that's a good word, because Lewis says we're not becoming the God, but we are in the process of having the face of a unique godling. And that everything that goes on in this world in our lives from the moment of birth, possibly even many births before that, are all happening to sculpt and chisel away at the formation of that little godling that each of us is becoming. So that means it would include everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Clint Eastwood is a soul-making movie star. Now, what I want to talk about today, and I'm going to go off the outline here, so just screw it. Last time I said that soul-making is often likened to a butterfly. Now, here's the quiz to see how well you listened last time, and I'm a teacher, so I like to do these quizzes. What's the Greek word for butterfly? Psyche. If you lived in ancient, even modern Greece, you would use the word psyche for wind, something floating on the wind, but you would use it for a butterfly. And the Greeks understood psychology better than much of modern psychologists, because they called it psyche, what we call soul, because they recognized that a butterfly, in order to become a full-grown butterfly, has to move through stages or modes. I'm going to call them both. So what I'm suggesting, and thank you for the image, what I'm suggesting is that to further our idea of soul-making, I'm going to suggest that each of us, like a butterfly, each of us as a psyche, has at least 4 modes or stages of consciousness that we go through in this life. And sometimes we go through all 4 stages in a single telephone call. So this is not a neat little package. Don't take it that way. This is just maybe a helpful metaphor to make life, the whole of life, make more sense in context of soul-making or spirit creation or becoming a godling. Now, when it comes to the psyche or the butterfly, you have the 4 stages. Could I get the next the words up there? The first stage for the butterfly is the egg, and it's remarkably close to our word ego. So let's call it the ego. In a soul-making perspective, each of us comes into this world, and the very first thing we must do in order to become a godling or to fashion a soul is to fashion an ego. You can't have an individual individualize until they are a self. Now, that ego stage includes everything, especially in the early parts of our lives. You gain an identity. Who is the center at the ego? I am the center. Is that good or bad? It just is. The Bhagavad Gita says that the ego is your greatest enemy and your greatest ally. So in this view, in a soul-making world, our egos are the starting point. In fact, some people, I think, have a hard time making a soul as they get older if they have not developed an identity early on. And they'll oftentimes in a soul-making school be thrown into relationships where they have somebody who is so domineering and so dominating that they force them to go find out who they are. So a lot of this soul-making stuff can be remedial. You understand what I mean? In other words, there's some things that we have to go back and learn over and over again. So ego is the first stage. And in the ego stage, I am the center of the universe. And if you have children, you know what that means. They're great. And some of us, as we get older, are just as childlike in that way. But we have an ego. Now, that does not mean that the ego disappears over time. I'm going to suggest that as a butterfly brings each stage with it into the next, that is, it doesn't shuck or shed a stage, it brings the former one with it as it moves forward. The ego is a stage that we take with us. But we have to have an adequate amount of time in life to find out who I am, what do I like, what do I dislike, etc., etc. Now, the second mode of consciousness, or stage of consciousness, for the butterfly, is the caterpillar. How many of you know anything about processional caterpillars? Have you ever heard that before? It's a type of caterpillar, and they're somewhat typical of caterpillars, scientists have done experiments with them where they will take them out of their nest and line them up, one behind the other. And the first one will start moving. And there'll be a bowl of water over there where they can get a drink so they don't die. And the first one that doesn't see the bowl of water will go around that bowl again and again and again. And guess what all the other caterpillars do? They proceed right behind it around that bowl until they all die of thirst. The second stage of consciousness after ego is relational consciousness. In order to expand the I, we need to move into the we consciousness. Falling in love is a very good one in adolescence. Having friends is another good one. Joining the military is a good one. Going to a church and finding partisan people that you can associate with is a good one. Now, probably the best stage 2 caterpillar stage in human society is what? It's all over the news. Politics. I saw a lot of faces drop. Why? I'm curious. Some of you that kind of went, why? Why does that sound so... I'm putting you on the spot. The turmoil, the arguments, the hate, the anger. If any of you in this room are normal, you have a political position, and you take that position very, very seriously, and when you are in the safety and the security alone in your living room and a certain candidate or candidates come on television, you find yourself saying things that you would not say in polite company. No? Okay. That is stage 2, and it is normal, it is necessary, it is required. In a soul-making world, we have to not only be self-centered enough to have an identity, we have to expand that I-go into a we-go. So that we have other people around us that when we say, don't you think this is right? They say, yes, absolutely. Don't you think they're wrong? Yes, absolutely. We have to have that. So part of the reason I'm saying this morning is because that's perfectly normal to be in that partisanship. It's perfectly normal. Now, not everyone is, but most are, somewhere. That's the second stage in soul making. We have to expand the I into a we. Now comes the really interesting part, because after the caterpillar, what do we have? The chrysalis. And what is the purpose of the chrysalis? To disintegrate. And you cannot disintegrate until you have established a very strong sense of I and a very strong sense of we. So this third stage is very, very important, because in the third stage, my wife and I were talking about this on the way here this morning, is where the judgments come in. We're all judges. You can't not judge and be a human being. I hear some people say to me sometimes, I'm going to quit judging. I say, well, you just did. You can't not judge. In stage 3, judgment comes alive. It's very common in stage 3 to find yourself throwing your hands up and saying, I don't know what the F to believe anymore. I don't understand any of it. I think all the politicians are crazy. I think all the religions are crazy. I think fill in the blank. Because in this stage, you become a cynic. You become a doubter. You become an analyzer. You start to take things apart. And this is where change really starts to happen. Because not only do I take things apart, I start falling apart myself. If you've ever put your head on the pillow at night and found yourself thinking, I don't know what to think anymore. I just got this diagnosis from the doctor that has just turned my world upside down. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. You get that diagnosis, or about a loved one, somebody that you love with all your heart, and they get the x-rays back and they say, we found a tumor. And then you go into that place where you try to say, oh, I'm okay, I'm fine with this, and probably are, but there's still that little piece of us that's falling apart, yes? This is absolutely necessary. And this is what we talked about last time I was here with this church, having lost kind of the cohesiveness that you had here. You are now in the chrysalis. It's normal. The thing is, be wary, be conscious enough to say, can we fall apart without destroying this thing completely? That's the big danger. Because people start getting together in little groups and they say, well, you know, so-and-so said, and then I think it was because of this. Yeah, I think you're right. Blah, 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 blah. That's okay at some level, but if we're conscious of the process, the necessity of the process, we can fall apart mystically. Does that make sense? So falling apart is a necessary mode of consciousness. The fourth one is the one we all like to camp out on, because that's where the butterfly emerges from the chrysalis. And it happens when the crisis disappears. The doctors call and say, you know, that tumor we found, it was somebody had their thumb on the x-ray. It's no big deal. We go, oh, God is so good. Well, yeah, but was God good when you thought it was a terminal disease? Now, I'm not up here preaching to you because I'm going to confess, my wife will affirm this. This morning driving in here, and I was talking about, I said, I don't know if I can do this talk today. I don't know if I can do it. Because I watched a family talking, and I'm not going to get into the details, but the situation they had in Honduras as they were making their way up this way was something that most of us can't even imagine. And they came to this country because they wanted to escape death and starvation. And to know that this sort of thing is going on in the world sometimes will bring me into a place of, I don't think there's a solution to any of this. It's just all horrible. You ever have that thought? Am I the only one? And she is so sweet. She knows by now that I'm in the chrysalis. And one of the last things you want to do to somebody in the chrysalis is rip the chrysalis apart. Because what happens when you rip the chrysalis apart for the butterfly? You kill it. We need, as Carl Jung said, we need to go through it. Whereas the Bible says, go through the valley of the shadow of death. Don't camp out in it. Don't circumvent it. Go through it, because there is something about that worm going through that chrysalis and liquefying into a muck, releasing enzymes that bring the brand new being into creation that is required to go through the chrysalis. Now, it's sometimes very difficult to know when you're stuck and you need some Prozac. I'm serious. There's a time for any of this, or a glass of wine. One, or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody can tell you how to circumnavigate or how to move through this soul-making process. Now, you can get help from friends, a supportive community, and I found that to be pretty good in unity in general. People who will come to you and they don't preach at you, they help you through. They say, you call me if you need to talk. You need that. All right, I'm going to wrap it up here. Can we put the slides back up and go to that one with the faces? Just move down through 1, 2, 3, and 4 to 5. There we go. If we had more time, we would look at this idea from all the world's religions, from ancient Greek mythology and the Eros and Psyche story. If you're familiar with that, the story goes through all 4 of these stages. If you look at Jesus and the churches around the world, in the mandorla, the almond shape in the middle, and around him are the four Gospels. And the four Gospels, if you look at them, correspond perfectly to ego, relationship, disintegration, and mysticism in the Gospel of John. You find in the life of the Buddha, sitting on the top of that pillar, that he has moved from ego, through relational crises, through disintegration and suffering, to a place of mystical union. You find in Hinduism, Brahma, the great creator God, has four faces. And one of the purposes of those four faces is to say that each of us has four faces. Some people say, you know, you're schizophrenic, Michael, or you're bipolar. And I say, thank you. Now, I'm not making fun of bipolar or schizophrenia, because as a pathology, it's very serious and needs to be treated seriously. But I'm suggesting that in a psychological perspective, every single one of us is bipolar. Every single one of us is not only schizophrenic, which means split-minded, we are quadrophrenic. What's quadra? Four-minded. Every one of us in a single telephone call can hear some news and immediately be in the ego mode of consciousness and go, oh, this sucks, my life is screwed. And they go, wait a minute, I can't say this to this person because I care for them, so I'm not relational. And then it's like, screw it, I'm going to say whatever I want, disintegrational. And then we say it, and we call them later and say, I'm sorry. Reintegration. The purpose of this life, according to Keats and many, many others, is that we go through these every single day, over and over, and year after decade, maybe lifetime after lifetime, because the goal is to become a unique and a completed godling. There is no wasted moment in a soul-making world. Not one wasted moment. Now, that doesn't mean that if you talk to me tomorrow, I might say it's all bullshit. Because there's room for that too. Just don't get stuck there. Let's do a quick meditation as we close here. If you want to take a breath, get out of that left brain system of trying to figure it all out, and move into that right brain that more and more brain scans are suggesting that we have a direct access to the imaginal realm. That we don't look at life in pieces, we actually see the whole. So I'm asking us to open that part of the mind right now and to just take in something of this notion and entertain the possibility that every single thing that comes into my life, whether I love it or despise it, is taking this little egg, this little caterpillar, through the chrysalis into the mystical butterfly godling. And so it is. Blessings. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Bogar. That was excellent. We offer opportunities to practice giving and receiving, that we might cooperate with the reciprocal nature of the spiritual universe. In other words, while your giving matters to us, we suggest your giving matter to you as well. Electronic giving options will appear on your screen for those choosing to give a physical gift. The ushers will gratefully pass baskets. If you are on site and prefer to give by credit card, there is an electronic giving station located in the back of the sanctuary by the Welcome and Information Station. If you would like information about UIL's programs of regular giving, planned giving, or legacy giving, grab a Giver's Circle brochure or write the Board of Trustees directly. For those already participating, we extend a special thanks. Please join me in our affirmation as it appears on screen. I give freely and fearlessly, fulfilling the law of giving and receiving.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
Do we have any newcomers today? Anybody visiting for the first time? Oh, great. Thank you for being here today. I'd like to invite you to come to the Welcome and Information Station after service today, and I'd like to give you a gift of the Daily Word that has affirmation and positive messages. It's a great way to start your day. I just signed up for the digital copy after having many years of having a paper copy. And also, I'd like to give you a welcome packet. So it's filled with all kinds of goodies, so come and see me. And if you'd like to, you can visit Marion in the Soul Things Books and Gift Store, and she'd gladly give you a copy. And you can check out all of the cool gifts that Marion has made, pick up a book or a CD. She's incredibly talented and fun to talk to. Lastly, we have informational cards in your chair backs in front of you. And you can have a stay in touch card. You'll get a couple of emails a month, credit card giving, and there's a little note card too. So, and our invitations. We want to hear from you during our time of transition. If you have a compliment or a comment, please write "We Listen" at unityinlynnwood.org. We're here for you. Please register for all events by visiting the calendar page at www.unityinlynnwood.org and consider the UIL Small Group and Interfaith Ministries as they appear on your screen. The Town Hall is Sunday, July 28th at 12:30 p.m. Please join UIL's Board of Trustees for a time of prayer, sharing, questions, and information. If attending virtually, please register and receive a link. Heart Circle with Reverend Denise, August 4th at 12:30 p.m. Join Dr. Denise Shellink in a Heart Circle, a circle gathering of the spiritual community in an effort to listen deeply, share authentically, and allow our hearts to be seen and heard. It is about holding sacred space, which means being willing to walk alongside another person in whatever journey they're on, without judging them, making them feel inadequate, trying to fix them, or trying to impact the outcome. When we hold space for other people, we open our hearts, offer unconditional support, and let go of judgment and control. I'd like to have the pictures come up of the hands-on housing from yesterday's event. Thank you. And now, Oh, that's okay. That's gorgeous. That's great. That's a lot of work. And now we come to our flower dedications from John Brooks. With love and gratitude to Mary Sue for 20 years of marriage. Wow! That's awesome. And we have one more. For Tim Vokes, for his birthday from Elizabeth, Sammy, and Sasha. Happy birthday. And please welcome board member Nancy Parle to the platform for a special giving announcement. So I've been preparing for this, and thank you for your talk today, Reverend Bogar. That hit home for me, was what I needed to hear. But here I'm going to talk about the Giver's Circle. We do this once a month just to remind people what it's all about and what good it does. So the Giver's Circle, again, is a way to plan your giving for the church. It allows the church to plan ahead and know how much is coming in, and people can designate how much they want to give each month or each year, for that matter. And then the money is withdrawn. You don't have to think about it. The church knows what's coming in. I've done that. It just helps the church. It's a good thing to do. And I also want to just take a couple more minutes of your time and talk about how I have changed, things have changed in my mind about my relationship with money. And I see my money management differently. I'm a single woman and a practical, pragmatic thinker. I believe I have control of my finances, and when I have control of my finances, I meet my obligations and I'm sleeping well at night. There's been a slight shift in my linear thinking, however. A few years ago, I participated in a class facilitated by Dr. Richard on prosperity. The text we read was The Soul of Money by Lynn Twist. The book and our discussions opened my eyes to a way that money acts in our lives. The author, Lynn Twist, is a fundraiser, and she tells a story, which I won't recount now because I'm hoping you'll read the book, which she compares the attitudes of scarcity and sufficiency and how they function in our lives. Money, Twist says, is like water. Sometimes it flows unimpeded. Other times it's a trickle. When it flows, it can clear out, create growth, and nourish. But when it's blocked or held on too long, it can stagnate and grow toxic. We want to keep money in circulation for ourselves and for others. A quote I'd like to share from their book is, "Grounded in sufficiency, money's movement in and out of our life feels natural. When we perceive the world as one in which there is enough and we are enough to make the world work for everyone, everywhere, with no one left out, our money carries that energy and generates relationships and partnerships in which everyone feels able and valued, regardless of their economic circumstance." Think of how money works in your life. I know being here at UIL, I have opened my mind and have a broader perspective of the prosperity consciousness. I hope you'll consider setting up a plan for consistent giving for UIL, for we choose life-affirming ways to channel our resources. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for reminding us of our prosperity consciousness, because we do need to remember that all the time. Thank you, Reverend Michael. I know I, for one, was so thrilled to learn that I could do all 4 stages in one phone call, because I often think it's just a line going up, but no, it's not. It's a process that we go through all the time, and that made me feel a little less bipolar or something. Thank you. So, just a reminder, if any of you are feeling like you could use a little reminder of how wonderful you are and how you are one with the one, or if something's going on in your life you need to talk about, or you just want to sit and get some love, we have some prayer chaplains. We have some awesome prayer chaplains who are ready to assist you with that today. And I encourage you, you sit with a prayer chaplain, let me tell you, you will feel better afterwards, I promise. So, and they like to do it too, so give them something to do, all right? If you would like to meet with a prayer chaplain in the sanctuary after service, just head up to the front. If you are joining us virtually today, please write to prayer@unityinlynnwood.org, and you will receive a call from an anonymous number within an hour or so. With the prayer chaplains in service, just identify themselves so we know who to look for. We have Gail and Ann. Thank you. Thank you. And just before we close today, let's just, if you'd like, close your eyes again. Just take a breath and let the words that we've heard today, Reverend Michael's very inspirational words about transformation, about growth, about being who we are at any moment, let that settle in. Remind yourself that you are here now, surrounded in love, surrounded in joy, and surrounded by people who do love you. Take that with you this week. And we will close, as we always do, with sung words of blessing and sung words of farewell.